Muscle Car Corner here, bringing you Don Garlits Antique Auto Museum. And you can tell he's got so much stuff. It's crazy what Don's got. And all these guns. Roosevelt is dead. This is pretty cool, the story, the original story. Don's Garage, 56 to present. Look at that tune-up machine. That's some old Sun machine there. This is where you build motors. Or got it set up like that area. Set of old slicks there, old M&H. All the signage he's got. Just speaking to the gentleman who runs this at the front desk there, and I was talking to Don about possibly getting one of his motors, and he said I couldn't afford it. I'm sure that it would be a pretty penny for one of his 426 Hemis. Doesn't hurt to ask. Wanting to build a 70 Hemi Cuda Soxa Martin clone drag car, and who better else to have one of Don Garlits motors than that? 39 Ford Cabriolet with rumble seat. This is the last year that Ford built the gear shift on the floor, and last year the rumble seat. Amazing paintwork on this. Really nice. I guess everything's in here is Don's, excluding about 4 cars. The Garlits, the original 39. Don bought this car back in 1954. Powered by a 331 Hemi. Wow, it's amazing he's had that car that long. I think it's really amazing. I don't know who does his paintwork, but it's right on. About as good as they can get. 2 4-barrels. That is beautiful. The detail work on this restoration is just bar none amazing. Even underneath the hood is just as nice as the outside of the car. Takes time to do the jams that nice and wet sand and buff them, and it's a lot of work. This car is really special to him, I'm sure, being they bought it back in 1954. The 40 chop top. Here's the information on that. 354 Hemi. That's got a 9-inch Ford rear and a 350 turbo hydro tranny. He used to cruise the Tampa streets during the early 50s in this. It's got 56 Chrysler Hemi with a 350 transmission and a Ford rear. Talking about a concoction of different parts from different manufacturers on it. That's a pretty wild looking color. like the way they polish up the radiator. Single 4-barrel on it. Information on how long he's had this. It's neat the way they did the underside red. That's kind of cool looking when it's open. That's a neat touch. '40 Ford convertible club coupe. 95,000 original miles on that car. Nice. The Winfield coupe. Wow, this was bought by Montgomery Ward department store entrepreneur for his daughter. His daughter married cam grinder Ed Winfield, which was the father of racing cams and the inventor of the famous Winfield carburetor. Wow. Some old original pictures of the car back in the day. That's a neat story on that one. '40 Ford Tudor. Another '40 Ford Tudor. It's all original except for the paint on it. They changed the color. 90 horse, 221 cubic inch motor. It's a good looking blue on there. I like it. '40 Mercury convertible sedan. Only 1,272 of these were built. The big Mercury 8 on it. Once again, amazing paint on this car. I'm wondering if these cars got lacquer on them. I'm pretty sure they would. A '42 Mercury Sport convertible. Only 956 of these were produced in '42 after the war. Look at the front end on that. That is sharp. These lamps, all these lamps are cool. '49 Ford Custom 2-door sedan. It's amazing how much Big Daddy likes Fords. I thought he was more of a Mopar man. Crestliner. He bought the car out in Denver, Colorado. And Don and his wife drove it back to Ocala. Back in the day. That's a neat story. 1950 Ford Tudor. Don and Pat's Hot 50. A 3/4 Isky cam Remember when they used to call them 3/4 cams? Back in the day, that was the terminology for a big cam. A 3/4 cam. I got a 3/4 cam. And duration was a 3/4 of an inch lift, I presume. Pretty cool ride. The 50 lead sled, Mercury. This is the original Happy Days car. It was in Happy Days, driven by the Fonz on the TV show. Restored by Big Daddy and Alan Parker in 1990. There's a beautiful paint job on that. Wow, look at that in the sun. I mean, the light. That candy is really dark, a dark candy. It's sharp. Man. 50 Merc. This lady had this car from 50 when she died, or when she was getting very old at 90 years of age. Oh, that's cool. He loved his Mercs. .390 Ranchero, ordered by Hall of Famer Ed Donovan, the Donovan Hemi. Ed drove this car every day, and he donated it to the museum. That's neat. Donovan Engineering. Award-winning top eliminator at the NHRA Nationals in Indy. Big Daddy won the car with his Windjammer Swamp Rat. It's got a 260 V8 in it. I presume it's pretty low miles. I don't know. Maybe that's his daughter. I don't know. Pretty sharp. Chrysler's Victory Siren from 1952. The federal government ordered about 100 of these when Russia obtained the 100 megaton hydrogen bomb. This was to go off in case there was a bomb going off. Look at that with a Hemi in it. Old style Hemi. Wow. Chrysler Air Raid Siren. I have never seen one of those. Kind of neat. A Packard Club Coupe, 1940. The 120 Opera Coupe. Factory leather interior. It was sold to Mr. Ed Voliker, San Juan Motor Company in Daytona Beach in 1940. Well, pretty cool. It's a beautiful car. Here again, the paint's just immaculate on it. Chrysler 300. This car is all original too. It looks like it's never been apart. Big 2.4 barrels. All the patina on the paint. Core support. Aprons. This was a drag car back in the Northeast. At Fonda Drag Strip. This was during the same time Shirley Muldowney got her racing start. This car went against Shirley Muldowney many times back in the day. 375 horse, 354. One thing is all original war. It's a big drag car. There's the trophies it won. Crate motor donated. His museum. .600 horsepower. NASCAR nailhead motor. Oldsmobile. Buick rather. Smokey Yunick small block, V6, Buick V6. I believe that Smokey Yunick and Don Garlits, I'm going to have to ask him on their history together, because Smokey Yunick was one of the most amazing, innovative engineers ever, all self-taught. He had the big three, getting him to build carburetors, motors, experimental this, experimental that. He was a test field for a lot of things that went into Ford, Mopar, and Chevy, GM. So kind of neat stuff. I personally have been involved with Smokey Yunick's garage back in the early 70s. I got a picture of me and his one and only Indy car with a small block Chevrolet in it that he finished Indy with. I think he came in second with it. But I've known of Smokey Yunick for years. I used to have lunch with him in Daytona at this little diner he went to every day, and he was there at exactly 12 o'clock, and they had to have his lunch ready. He was one of those guys that had everything planned out by the minute on how long it took to eat. I'd go over and bug him every once in a while and talk to him, and he said, I really don't have time to talk. I've got to get back to the shop, and I'm building this and I'm building that. He was a machine. Ooh, look at this nice Hemi Cornet. Super sweet. And that's got a transmission cooler in it. Everything looks to be original on this car, even underneath. Looking at some of the markings, and you can tell it's lacquer paint up under it. Looks like this car, I don't believe, has ever been painted. Hemi Cornet RT68, one of the 210 they built. It was raised for several years. Purchase price back then was $44.31. 323 gear. Mr. Costello. custom Camaro drag car. Flares on it. It's kind of unusual. Bearcat. '70 Dodge Challenger. Powered by the 426 original Beauty, can go 140 miles an hour if you care to. One of the fastest factory hot rods ever built. Don found it tucked in a garage in Ohio with 29,000 miles on it. Present mileage is 30,000. It's got a Dana 60. It is a track pack car. Super cool. Find that in the garage with 29,000 miles. Hemi Challenger. Look at all the patina up under the hood. It's probably had now outside paint. It's a Survivor with a paint on it. It's not an RT. That's what's strange. I wonder if it's a. I don't believe it's an original Hemi car. I can't see the VIN, so I'm not positive. Excuse me. Kind of a neat piece. I guess somebody just threw that Hemi in it. A Chrysler, 54 Chrysler Imperial. Man. Only 1,249 of these were built. Chrysler, 58 for Chrysler convertible. Imperial. A 56 Chrysler limousine. One of the 10 they built. Somebody's old travel trailer over there. This is one of Big Daddy's. He got these trucks from Chrysler, gave them to him. This is the other one. He's driving the black one. With a 5.9 in it. This looks all original. One of his vehicles he got from Chrysler. Look at the damage on the front bumper on it, just chips and stuff. One of Big Dad's everyday vehicles used to be. 54 MG TF convertible. Don's wife used to drive this around back in the day. OMG. 74 Carmen Gia. It's got 27 miles on it. It's probably the lowest mileage Carmen Gia there is in existence. That's pretty cool. Never titled. I'm not a big Volkswagen guy, but I like the color, and I think that that's amazing. It's never been titled. I didn't know he had any interest in VWs. I don't know if he really did or what, but showing a cutaway car, VW cutaway car. That's kind of neat. Good old small block. A 55, 265, 162 horse at 4,400 RPM. A 50 VW. Big Daddy restored that one himself. He must like VWs. That's right, he is German, I believe. $575 miles on that 2003 C5 convertible, 50th anniversary. I drove my 02 Z06 C5 today. Was enjoying the ride over in that today. Put that thing in 6th gear down the highway, and it just trucks along at like 27 miles a gallon. It's around 500 horse at the rear wheel. I do like a C5 Corvette, especially the Z06s. 49 Chevrolet Deluxe, 90 horsepower, inline 6. This one was donated to his museum. 41 coupe. 44 Chevrolet fire truck. '57 Chevrolet truck. 235/6. That's an old Coke